Hello everyone, welcome. I'm Mama Mita and today I want to show you how to make tabouli. Now tabouli is a salad that is from the Middle East. It's very popular. If you go to restaurants or you go to someone's home in the Middle East, you're going to probably be served tabouli. Now tabouli is, the main ingredients for tabouli will be parsley. And with parsley, you want to make sure that you wash the parsley very well because it's been, out in the dust and stuff and the climate and everything. So you're going to get dust and maybe some chemicals and just, really wash your parsley very well, okay? So I want to show you how to cut the parsley. We're going to have parsley, tomatoes, green onions, and some cracked wheat I'm using number one wheat. Well, actually what it is, because I couldn't find a cracked wheat, is I'm actually using couscous from Winco. But it's just almost like, the same thing. So it's good enough for me, okay? And then you'll use lettuce for, you can use lettuce or you can use a bread, the Lebanese bread, to pick it up. And you can actually even use grape leaves if you boil them a little bit to make them a little softer, and that's how they do it in the Middle East. Okay, so let me show you how we do the parsley first. So now with the parsley, when you get it from the store, it usually comes in a bundle with the rubber band around it, right? Or that little wire thing around. So you want to take the parsley and you want to lay them where you're going to stack them together like this, like a bouquet. And when you get that stack, then you're going to lay it down on top of your cutting board, and you're gonna hold it tight so it doesn't move around a lot, because that'll be less cutting then. Okay, then you're going to take it, and right where it begins, the top, is where you're going to cut it. Now, we're not going to use the stems because they don't use the stems in tabouli. And you can use this for sofrito. You can grind them up with your food processor and mix it with other stuff to make the sofrito. Or you could use it to make chimichurri sauce. But we're not going to do that right now, okay? So then you're going to take your parsley and you're going to hold it really tight. Now, let me tell you something. If you've ever been to the Middle East, these women are very well into the kitchen and they know how to chop some parsley. I'm not really that great at chopping parsley, but I get the job done, But that's what they do. If you watch the movie The Miracle off of Netflix, you will see how when they go to get married, that some of these mother-in-laws, they want to ask their daughter-in-law to be, if they know how to make this, because they want their son to be able to eat good and stuff. It's quite a funny movie to watch, but you'll get a fun time watching that one. Okay. All right. So then you're going to lay them. Let me put my glasses back on. You're going to lay the parsley tight like that. And then you're just going to put the knife, keep your fingers out of the way, put the knife right very close. And now if you're kind of scared of that knife, because my knives are usually pretty sharp, you just want to do it the best you can. And say you're like, oh, I'm scared, okay, that's fine then. You know what? Don't worry about it. What you're going to do at that point, you can just make it bigger. And then take the cutting board. I don't want to spend too long on cutting the parsley because then I make the video too long. And you get bored with watching videos so long, I'm sure. And then I take my knife and I just walk it back and forth like that. And that, if you keep doing that, and you just keep putting the parsley on top like that. And at some point, it'll become very fine parsley. It's going to become like that, really fine. And that's the way you want it to be. So now I have a big dish over here. I'm going to take this parsley and I'm going to dump that in there. That's my parsley. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to move this to the side, and I can do this later and add that later. Okay. So we don't waste time. You saw how it is. So you got the drift on that. Okay, now when you get to the tomatoes, I like to take the little thing out. Take that little tomato piece out, and then I like to cut these like hamburger slices, but not fat hamburger slices. You want them to be kind of small. Now, once you do that, it's going to come out to be kind of like tiny diced tomatoes. Not too tiny, but tiny. You don't want them to be like a tall salad tomatoes. No, like you want them to be small, because that's how, and you want to have a lot of tomatoes in your salad. So, and if the tomatoes are kind of mushy, try to get firm tomatoes, but if they are kind of mushy, then just use a sharp knife and kind of mash downward like that. And kind of chop them. You don't want big pieces like that. Nope, don't do that. Oh boy. You're going to want them to be small like this. See how that is? Now we're going to dump some of those in there. And usually what I do is I kind of like watch it to see how it looks and stuff. So I dump that in there. We're going to move this to the side, and I'll cut that later and add that. I just don't want to spend a whole bunch of time just cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting. Okay, then the green onions. Usually the green onions that I buy for tabbouleh is like this size. However, Winco did not have those. I looked everywhere in Winco, they just didn't have them. They had these kind of fat things. That's okay, because sometimes you have to substitute for what you got, When I went to Lebanon the first time, I was a very young girl, and it was back in 1973, and the war was happening then, and it was really bad. So you couldn't get a lot of stuff. So sometimes we didn't get to go out of the house, like going to the grocery store. Like, it was kind of dangerous, so we had to stay nearby. Okay, now on the green onions, you're going to stack them, and you're going to slice them crossways. And so when you do that, and now if the green onions happen to be a little bit too, you think a little bit too big, well then you can just cut them down. Because if you don't have green onions, you can use little small diced, very finely diced white onions. But your garden people out there, you guys got lots of green onions, I'm sure now, and you got lots of tomatoes and parsley. This is a wonderful salad to have, to eating healthy. Okay, now, and then at that point, what I do, if I find that they're a little bit too big, then I just kind of like do like that, Then I scoop them up, and I dump them in the bucket. Okay, then here's my green onions. So I'm going to add some green onions. And now I'm going to take the spoon, the big spoon, and I'm going to stir that around. I'm going to look at that and see, okay, is that starting to come together? Let's see. Yeah. Now you see how that's looking? That is the way tabbouleh should look. Now, if you're from the Middle East and you're from Lebanon, this is how they do their tabbouleh. They don't go skippy with tomatoes, and they don't put a lot of cracked wheat in there, because when you go to the restaurant, they got so much cracked wheat in there that I'm like, well, where's the tomatoes, Okay, so this is kind of how it's going to come together, all right? Then I'm going to add some finely chopped mint. Now, if you don't have dry mint, then go pull some out of your garden, some fresh mint, or go get some from your neighbors, And then you can roll it up like you do when you roll the basil leaves, roll them up, and then you stack them and you roll them up, and then you chop it, like you slice across and you chop it, the same way like with the onion. So I'm going to put that in there. That's my mint. That's done. Now, then I'm going to mix that around. That's looking great already. Oh, yeah. But I've got a lot of tomatoes, and I've got quite a bit of parsley over here too. So I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of those tomatoes. Why not? I got lots of tomatoes. And that'll be fine. I had to use fresh mint this morning, because I was out of the dried parsley, the dry mint. I had orange peppermint, but yeah, I can't do that. Yeah, no, we're not doing that one. Okay. So now, at this point, here is my cracked wheat. or my couscous in this case. You could use quinoa too. Some people put quinoa on it. It's kind of like whatever your family did. It's kind of like if mama baked the ham like that, then you bake the ham like mama. If daddy barbecues like that, then you barbecue like daddy did or like mama did, you know. Now, I like to drain the water off of this. Now, when you put this in a little bowl, you don't put a lot because this stuff swells up. You put a little bit and you add cold water and you let that swell up. It takes about 30 minutes to swell it up completely. And if I have too much wheat here, then what I would do, which I think I got a little bit too much wheat, I'll just use it tomorrow for another salad. It's okay, it's fine. Now, sometimes what I do is I put it in with the onions and like kind of mix it in like that to get that onion flavor into it, but you don't have to do that, you know. So now let's see how it's looking. Oh yeah, now it's looking great. And this is such a healthy salad. And like if you're expecting a baby, there is a lot of iron in this salad. Lots of iron. That parsley is loaded with good iron for you. I'm going to put a little bit more. There we go. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you a look at this in just a second so you can see how pretty this is. And that's the way it should look. It should. Now, when you buy that wheat stuff, you can get it at Winco. It's very cheap, okay? This whole bag probably cost me like 38 cents. Like, it's like nothing, you know? And you just remember, you put a little bit in, and you wait 30 minutes with a little bit with cold water. You cover it over, like just a teeny bit over with cold water and let it swell up. Now, there you go. Look how beautiful that looks. Okay, now, at this point, let me wash my hand real quick. Now, I learned how to make tabouli when I was 17 years old. My mother-in-law, Muma, she taught me how to make it. And they live in Caparaka, El Qura, like North Lebanon, about 12 miles south of Tripoli. Now we're going to come to the dressing. So I've got lemon. And this is fresh squeezed lemon. But in those days, because of the war, we didn't, you know, sometimes we had to use, I want to say it was citric acid. It was like crystals. And she would add a little water to it. And that's what she would use because we didn't have fresh lemons. Sometimes we couldn't get stuff, you know. So I'm going to use this. And I'm going to add some olive oil to it. I'm going to add some salt. Okay, so now I'm going to pour that into that. I think I could just pour the rest of that. To me, that looks fine. I like pepper, but you know, you don't have to put pepper. You can put like, some people even put a little bit of allspice or a little bit of cinnamon. And I don't do that. Yeah, I don't do that. I just keep it like this. Okay. So, there we have it. And that's your tabouli. Look how easy that was. That was just so easy, you know, to put together. Now, I want to show you, before I let you go, I want to show you. This is the Lebanese bread. This is the kind of bread that the Lebanese like, okay? Now, it's different from the Greek pita. You know, it's a type of bread that when they put it in the oven, high heat oven, it just blows up like a ball, like a balloon. And so when they're ready to make something, they take a corner, a little part here, and they open it up because it opens up like a balloon, and it's super thin. In Lebanon, you see them, they're like huge, big pieces of bread like that, stacked up in the bags, ready to go out. They got them all lined up against the wall in a mule. I'm like, oh my goodness sakes, well, this bakery's got some bread going out. And it's really nice to see how they done that. And you just open it up. And so these women, they make sandwiches like when we use one slice of bread, American bread. Wow, that's one slice for them. Isn't this funny? I love this. And then they take their lemonade and they put cucumbers and whatever they want to put on there, and they roll it up like that. Kind of like the Hispanics do with the tortilla. It's kind of like the same thing, and then they put like saran wrap on it, and they send their husband and their kids off, from the house like that. But you could also toast this, and you can make another salad, and it's called fattoush, which is a really nice salad also. So some Lebanese people like to take, and this is how I did a lot of times when we didn't have the lettuce there at the house, is they take a little bit and they pinch the bread. They hold it like this, and they put it over the food, and they pinch the bread. Now we're going to try this tabouli, see how it is. It needs more olive oil. And it definitely needs more salt. Okay, so now we'll try it now. So another way that they eat this, believe it or not, is with lettuce or with romaine lettuce. You can use romaine lettuce, you can use grape leaves, you could use, I'd even use cabbage. And you just take it and you scoop it like a boat. Oh yeah, definitely good. So guys, there you have it. This is how you make tabouli. So simple, so easy. Go out to the garden and raid the garden. Get the parsley, get the green onions and the tomatoes, and come back in and make tabouli. It's a great way to get your chopping skills up, and it's a great way to get healthy because it's a Mediterranean diet. Now you guys, gosh, this tastes so good. I can't wait to get in the video so I can pig out on it. If you guys like this video today, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye, guys.